welcome you to today's edition of NewDayTV Show on NTA2 Lagos Center. My name is still Ivan Dugan, and I'd like to add further, it hasn't changed and it won't change for all the billions in the world.
Like seriously. Anyway, my name is Tunbosun. Welcome to the program that it's all about you, because you are the voice of the new generation. It's New Day. It's time to go for a very short break now, and when we come back with this program, I'm sure you will know that I started. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us.
Wanna be in the know? Tune to the show. It's called New Day, now in your zone. Touching the work and career. Ends up in the play zone. Take luck to entertain. Inspired to make you feel at home. And it's all about you. It's all about you. New Day. It's the new day. It's the new day. New day. It's a new day.
Daddy, look!
We should know better.
Do the right thing. Let's change the way we think.
Life's journey, travels all kinds of tracks. One of the important things to learn about life, and I think J.K. Rowling helped a lot of people to come to some understanding of this when she writes that it's about the choices we make. And choices in many ways are strategic, because you make a certain choice and other choices just follow on. If you make one big mistake, you just keep making more mistakes probably. But if you're clever enough to realize that it's a big mistake, then you can correct and begin to. So choices are so important in life. For me, one of the good fortunes that I have had, in spite of challenges, very early, I learned that it is important to begin, as Stephen Covey says, with the end in mind. Where do you want to be in the very end? What do you want people who are filing past your cups to think of the life that you have lived? If you can think through that very clearly early in life and then construct a way of living to be true to that, essentially build a compass that helps you navigate towards that desire of how you would like people to see you the day you're lying in that casket, it makes it easier to make choices. Choices will always challenge you, but if you have clear principles, it's easier to make a choice. Some people who introduce me know that my favorite introduction is teacher. I like to be thought of as just a teacher. One of the roles that I am most easily associated with is that of a business angel. A business angel is one who takes aspiring entrepreneurs because of your understanding of the business environment, because of your understanding of how businesses run. You invest in those young aspiring people, provide guidance for them, and exit at a certain point in time. I have been fortunate to play this role with quite a number of businesses, some of which have gone on to be very successful, some of which have failed woefully. But that is a role that I have played over the last 25 years with several companies. Indeed, I wrote a book titled Business Angel as a Missionary. And the reason I wrote that book was that a dear friend of mine, former Director General of the NTA, Ben Murray Bruce, one day said to me, "Why do you hate money?" I said, "What do you mean hate money? Do I look like someone who hates money?" He says, "Look, I can point to all the people you made very rich, but you still live so modestly." And then I said, well, maybe my own business angel is a missionary. And that was the title of the book that I then wrote, in which I took case studies of many of the companies that I have been involved in their founding and how they evolved and what went wrong and what went right and the lessons from those. The bottom line is that I enjoy doing what I do. Careers become frustrating when you do things that you need to do to earn a living. But when you do things that you enjoy doing, life is a party. You're just partying your way through life. It just happens to bring some income along the way. So most of the things I do very passionately because I love to do those things, not because I need an income. I have turned to boardrooms as an opportunity to teach how I think business should be organized. And so I've been active in corporate governance at many levels. In that regard, I've had the good fortune, the privilege of being part of a startup of many companies, some of which are quoted on the stock exchange today, and some of which have become key players in the economy, one of which put Nigeria on the internet, another one of which is the first daily business newspaper in the country, and so on and so forth. Public life, politics, was for me an opportunity to teach people how politics should be played, not a place of cloak and dagger games just to achieve power for self-aggrandizement, because leadership is other-centered behavior, not self-centered behavior. If you're in public life and you're spending most of your time thinking about you should quit. It's not about you, it's about others. In times of difficulty, there's a tendency for people to shift their taste, for example, to what you would call inferior goods. And anybody who's clever enough to organize a set of inferior goods in such a way that more people will shift to them can become enormously successful. You must have a career based on passion for some things. If you don't enjoy what you do, life will be miserable, even if you make all the money in the world. And what's the point in having all the money in the world and feeling miserable? And so I have had a fairly decent run because life has been a party for me, because I have just gone on to do things that I enjoy doing.
Okay, so you have it there from, should I call him Angel Patutomi or Missionary Patutomi?
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, he said so many things, but what really captivates me, or should I say captured me, is the fact that if you're doing anything and you think it's all about you, then you're making a mistake. In whatever you have to do, you have to think about others. You have to have others in mind. And he also said something about when you start anything, think of the end.
Product, yeah,
then
exactly.
he said something about that thing of caskets. Sometimes when you hear about death, you know, we get...
You just get your trend, like, okay, no, let's skip it. We're still young.
But okay, let's... Ivan, when you eventually die, your old age, I know you want to live to like 200.
No, that's punishment. Come on.
So like, at that stage, what do you want people to think about? Because that was part of what he also said.
Well, I just want people to look at my casket and say, okay, this guy impacted my life in one way or the other. That's it, you know. He said something else that really struck me. He said, if you work in, when you want to get a career, don't get a career that means because of the money, because you love it. I remember when I got admission to Unical for 2 years. I was studying electronics and computer technology, and I got bored, I got tired, and I went home for one holiday, and I told my mom, okay, I'm quitting school. I'm going to enroll in the London School of Journalism because I want to be a journalist. I want to talk about different things. I want to write and I want to do lots of things. And she was like, are you crazy? Blah, blah, blah. Like, when you finish, you can go back to Equatorial Guinea and work in the oil. I was like, I'm not interested. I want a job whereby if you wake me 2 a.m., I'll just come down, wash my face, freshen up and start. Exactly. And here I am today, 4 years down the line, being a journalist.
So very soon we should be calling you missionary.
No, business angel. Business angel.
Okay, so our social media platform.
Oh yeah, to reach us on social media, our Facebook address is still www.facebook.com/NewDayTvshow, and on Twitter is twitter.com/@NewDayTvshow, and on YouTube as well. Our YouTube address is www.youtube.com/NTA2Lagos.
Yeah, talking about the YouTube address, this is to remind you that even when the show is over, I still want to see our faces.
Yeah.
If it's
your face, come on.
Okay, and you still want to see our faces, you can always look at our past programs. It's actually, you can always catch us on YouTube. And now it's time to go straight into the rundown for today. Today on the milestone segment, we're talking about the radio. Yes, we have so many radio stations today, but have you ever wondered how this thing called radio, have you ever wondered how it came about? Today you get to know about that. And straight on from the milestone segment, the business intelligence, we're talking about understanding entrepreneurship. If you listen to what Professor Patitomi was saying, was talking something about entrepreneurs and things like that. So today on the business intelligence segment, we'll be talking about understanding entrepreneurship. Who is an entrepreneur? Is that person that wants to wake up at 2 a.m. and wants to get work done or something? You get to know much about that on the business intelligence segment.
And on this primary segment of the show, which is always the first thing that comes after the listening age, Tunbosun, we have someone, a woman in the house. She's gone on to change the face of art and culture in Nigeria, and to a large extent as well the world at large. So that segment is something I'm looking forward to, and in the next couple of seconds, my dear Tunbosun here will be introducing our guest. I'm giving you the honor, because if I should start the introduction, Tunbosun,
a husband might think you are winning her.
12 o'clock will leave us. So
all right, so we have with us today Mrs. Bolanle Austin Peters. She is should I call her the managing director of culture? But then above all, she's a lawyer, she's a mother, so many things. But like you said, this is somebody who is actually pushing and projecting arts and culture. And by doing that, I'm sure we are welcome to the program, man. And by pushing arts and culture to everybody, that's in the way actually pushing Nigeria even to the world. Yes, it's good to have you with us, ma'am. Thank you. And we know we said it even before you came on air, because we're reading through your profile and we saw your age. I'm like, what? You're that old? You look so young and still very beautiful. Thank you. When I want to be like you.
Thank you very much.
So it's good to have you with us, ma'am.
Thanks a lot.
A bit about your background, because we're going towards the arts and culture, but I want you to remind us about your background so that people would know that your background really didn't have anything, what you studied really didn't have anything to do with arts and culture. So a bit about your background, please.
Great. It's nice to be here, and thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm a lawyer by training, and I have a master's in international law, and I worked as a lawyer for several years with the United Nations abroad, and then I came back to Nigeria in 2003 or thereabouts, and yes, I started Terra Culture in 2003.
You started brief. So why Terra Culture? Because I know most of the things we do in Terra Culture has tending towards arts, culture, and things like that. Why did you just wake up one morning and decided to do arts, culture?
The truth is, as an international, your skills are not needed locally, and because I worked dealing with a lot of international covenants, interpreting refugee laws, developmental programs as well, when I worked with UNDP. So coming back home, it was difficult to integrate back into practicing law as a lawyer in Nigeria. Maybe if my passion was there, maybe I would have been able to, but clearly I was not interested. So I asked myself, what do I enjoy doing? And typically, like Professor Utomi mentioned as well, it's the things that you enjoy doing that would always propel you, and you probably be successful as an individual. So I looked at what I did abroad. Most times, as expatriates, you'd all gather together at certain places, and typically it's the cultural centers. You all want to learn about the country that you're in, and one particular event that stands in my mind till tomorrow is one day when I was talking to a colleague of mine. She's Norwegian. We shared the same office space, and I was speaking to my daughter in English, and she asked me, "Bola, why do you do that?" And it was very it was revealing to me that really, why am I doing this? She speaks Norwegian language, whatever it is that she spoke, and so many of my friends, the Italians, the Dutch, everybody spoke their languages, apart from Nigerians who would say, he won't understand.
So she was like, why are you not speaking Yoruba?
Yes,
why the English?
If it's Igbo or what, So I think that sort of struck a chord. And when I got back home, looking at the terrain and asking myself, what did I want to do? I said, look, I'd like to have a cultural space, a melting pot where people can come, learn about Nigeria. Typically these are government-owned avenues in other parts of the world. I mean, you have the museums in Nigeria, but I wanted something that would be appealing to both locals and foreigners. Hence the
birth of the Terra culture.
Okay. So far so good. Terra culture has been about 8 years now.
We're actually 10. We're going on 11 now.
11 now.
Well done.
Well, it's fantastic. So how has it been for you? How has the progress been? From infancy, I would call you now, adulthood, because
teenagers.
No.
10.
Because if you study what Terra culture has done over the years, they've had over 200 art shows, book exhibitions. I remember Chude Julian, his book he did a book reading there. I remember, So how has it been, the progression?
Like any business, it's got its ups and downs, but the beauty of Terra is that because of what we do, it's a very entertaining environment, and you get the opportunity of meeting so many people, but more importantly, we tend to celebrate what is best about Nigeria, and that for me is more than gold. People come in and the expression typically is, wow, it's all out of the fact that somebody has been able to pull this together in Nigeria, and it's being run by Nigerians, because some people actually think it's owned by foreigners, which is also not a good thing, because it suggests that we're not able to do things well. So we've been able to do quite a bit in terms of exhibitions, projecting our art abroad as well. We do art auctions. We have an auction house in partnership with My Dream Gallery. So annually we do art auctions. Where we were 10 years ago in terms of the prices of our artwork and the appreciation of our artworks has changed significantly, due to the involvement of galleries like ours and so many others. Also, in the area of book reading, I remember 10 years ago our bookshelves were almost empty. Today you have so many authors, so many young writers. There are some that are renowned now. In the course of this 10 years, we're not there 10 years ago. And we have book readings from that. So we get book readings from Tony Khan, from El Nicoyo, from Chimamanda. Her last book, Americana, was done at Terra Chude, like you mentioned. The list is endless, so that also goes on from time to time.
Okay, so talking about Terra culture, for those of you out there who haven't been there, it's not just about arts and culture. They sell, there are good foods there as well. The yam and sauces. The last time I was there, the yam and sauce really blew my mind. I ordered for 3 plates.
Oh Lord!
Oh yeah, 3 plates.
Only you?
No, I was with a friend. I was with a friend.
Wow.
So there's something new. There's something new coming up very soon. Terra culture.
Yes.
It's a musical. Could you let us know about it?
Well, about 6 years ago we started doing theater. It was also something I just said, look, we have to bring back theater-going culture in Nigeria. So it was very tentative. People were a bit nervous. They weren't sure about how the public was going to receive theater. We started slowly, but now 6 years later, it's I must say a success story, because our theater, which is just a box, has grown significantly to the point that we've produced so many directors, so many producers, so many actors, and it's growing daily. And last year we started our own production in TerraCulture called BAP Productions. And what we tend to do is we're focusing more on large, Broadway-styled productions, you know, because we asked ourselves a question: when you travel, I'm sure everyone here would testify to that, would attest to that, that we all go and see all these shows abroad. And really, if we're talking about the strength of Nigerian youth, typically it's in dancing, it's in the arts. So we said, why can't we pull ourselves together and do something on that level? Also, when Fela on Broadway was brought to us, our own story being told by foreigners in our own country, and we're paying to go and see it. So we said, look, we have to change this mindset. We have to start doing things ourselves.
We need to begin to project
ourselves
and not allowing the foreigners to project us.
Correct.
We are Nigerians. We need to project Nigerians.
Yes, we need to own our stories.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Okay, we'll be right back. After this break, we still have Mrs. Bolanle Austin Peters with us. And when we come back, yes, those stars, should I call them stars now? You'll be meeting on the Broadway. You will get to meet them after this break. Stay with us.
Wanna be in the know? Tune to the show. It's called New Day, now in your zone. Touching the work and career. Ends up in the play zone. Take luck to entertain. Inspired to make you feel at home. And it's all about you. It's all about you. New Day. It's a new generation. New Day. It's the new day. It's a new generation. New Day. It's a new generation. It's a new day.
Do not deface public property. Do the right thing. Let's change the way we think.
Welcome back. It's still New Day. And before we went on that break, we said that we would have two of the stars, you know, of the musical coming up from TerraCulture, and already they've joined us on set. I'll do the honor. They'll introduce themselves, you know. They are the ones acting.
I mean, should we say courtesy Mrs. Bolanle Peters of Mrs. Bolanle Austin Peters of TerraCulture? She has decided to bring the runway even to the NTA studio.
So we're having a runway yesterday. We're having a runway yesterday.
So we have with us the stars on the runway. Is that right?
Yes.
And I said, okay, you're part of the stars.
We're part of it.
You're
so
part of it.
Part of a big family.
Part of a big. How big is the family?
100-man cast.
Oh, really? Good.
Fantastic.
Lots to watch out for on that day. So, your name, please.
My name is Frank Kowe.
Okay, and you?
I'm Damilola Kalejaye.
Okay, now before we begin to go, to the other side. So, Frank Owe will be playing the role of who on that day?
Aziz.
Yes.
Is Aziz the good guy or the bad guy?
He's in the middle.
Yeah,
Or
he's
in the middle?
no, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's the one with the dream.
Are you
No,
sure?
I'll be
Because you are
successful,
here.
yes.
I'm going to be there on that day.
No, trust me. You will see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and you're playing the role of?
I play Ronke.
Okay, so Ronke is the
Ronke
person
is
as his host.
Actually, Ronke has another love interest. Yeah, but she's the daughter of Don Tito, who's the one who takes the four boys, focus of the play, under his wing to make them stars in Lagos.
Yes. To make them stars in Lagos.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ronke is the daughter.
Okay. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm watching it anyway. I'll be there. Okay, now talking to both of you, we know that you're doing something that is tending towards arts and culture. How is that like?
Yeah, that's a part of our life. That is who we are. We've been in this throughout our lives. So being part of this, being part of what will transform lives is an inspiration to us as people. So, and we give thanks to BAP Bolanle Austin Peters.
Is that what they call
Yes.
it?
BAP.
So am I free? Bap?
Yes.
High five? Bap?
Yes, I'm back.
Bab is like a dream come true. It's like dream, making every artist's dream come true. Is inspiring everybody to be what they can be in the future. Yes, as artists.
So, how is it working with the other 99 Mindcast and Bab herself?
Well, it's been really, really amazing. Everyone is really good at what they do. We have amazing dancers, we have amazing singers, we have an awesome band. The director is fantastic. Our producer is it's
awesome.
I mean, and they're not. It's strange to have things done well, as we know in Nigeria, but she's somebody who makes sure everything is done the right way, and so it's so good to work under such a good working environment.
Yes.
And yeah, it's been awesome. We're having a blast. We're playing, we're not working.
Bap. Good. Bolanle Austin Peters. Yes. In case you're just joining us, if I say Bap, I'm still saying Bolanle Austin Peters. I know that, your vision is for the arts and culture to be projected, not just in Nigeria, Africa, and even to the whole world. So, if I ask you that in 5 years' time, what do you think arts and culture would be like?
I honestly, 10 times what it is today. Because increasingly, I think government and even private institutions are beginning to realize the wealth that we have that we haven't tapped into. Again, if I refer back to just 10 years ago, I remember Nigerian music was almost non-existent. I remember then we only had one album that was Nigerian in Terra Culture. Today the list is endless. And look at what the boys are doing and the girls in the music industry. Nobody 10 years ago, and even if you had some magic ball to look at, a crystal ball, there's no way you could have foreseen where we are today. And in less than 6 years of doing very rudimentary theater, and in 1 year of doing a big show, the amount of leverage and the amount of expertise that we've gotten and the amount of attention from both international press and local suggests to you that this is just a scratch. So imagine 5 years from now where we'll be. It's like our fashion industry, the same thing.
Exactly.
There's so much going on in this country that if you were an investor, these are the kind of areas that you should start looking at. Yes.
The arts and culture.
All right. We have a question on social media, on Twitter. This one is asking, when and what time is the play coming up?
It comes up on the 23rd of December to the 28th. It's a 6-day show at the Muzon Shell Hall. And we'll be having some days one show. Christmas Day we're also showing 6 p.m. On the 25th. And then the other days we're having 3 shows, 1 p.m., 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. If you go online to sarothemusical.com, you'll get all the information.
So that's the title of the play.
sarothemusical.com, and that's the website where everybody can see and get all the information needed to come to the show.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Well, it's sad to say goodbye to the stars.
We're not saying goodbye to them. Whistles to them.
No, but on the show, I wish.
Their stars.
By the way, maybe I have to start attaching myself to you.
Tunbosun.
Yeah, you should.
Yes, wait.
Tunbosun.
Me too. I have this acting skills in me.
Yeah, really?
I think so.
Yeah, I can see it.
Bob, and they said you're a very good producer. I hope you'll be able to project.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All of the inner talent that is hidden.
Everything.
Bring it out.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
It's time to say goodbye, and we'll be seeing you 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th, 28th at the Museum Center. That's the Shell Hall.
Correct.
What time? 6 p.m.
1 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m.
Can I watch like the whole 18 shows?
Why not?
Fantastic.
Yes, if you want.
You'll get more and more inspired with each one.
And you get a ticket at NinjaTickets.com and at Terra Culture.
NinjaTickets.com and Terra Culture.
At Terra Culture, yes. And also at the venue, yes.
And even at the venue. Okay. And you don't know the fee?
The fee?
Okay, don't worry. If they go online, they'll get it.
yes, they will.
Thank you for coming once again.
Thank you so much.
We've been talking with Mrs. Bolanle Austin Peters. If I tell you her age, you won't believe it. But she's doing so well in the arts and culture industry. She's projecting Nigeria to the world. We are Nigerians. We should celebrate Nigeria and let the world know about it. All the very best, Aziz.
Yes,
and
yes,
Damilola.
in the play.
And Ronke.
Ronke in the play.
The program continues right after this break. Remember, it's still New Day, the voice of the new generation. Stay with us.